We are a brand new muscle car, and we build resto mods. We're talking cars that look like a classic, that drive like a brand new car. Mustangs are our specialty, and we're setting out to build the ultimate 67 Fastback.
Hey everybody, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is the engine for JB's Mustang is here. All the Supercharger stuff made it in. All that looks great. The bad news is we're having some trouble getting it all to fit in the engine bay. So let's head over to the engine room and I'll show you what we got going on. So the problem we have is getting all of this to fit in the engine bay. This was designed for a Fox body Mustang and we're putting it into an earlier Mustang. So even with the advantages of the serpentine system, how it brings everything in closer to the engine, we still do not have enough room to run this great big aluminum bracket and the supercharger head unit and clear the inner fender wells on JB's car. So huge shout out to the guys over at Pyrotech. What they're going to do is they're going to make us a one-off bracket. There'll only be one, a one-off bracket to make this head unit clear our factory inner fender wells on the Mustang. All right, so normally we would do this on a nice wooden shipping crate. Unfortunately, our nice wooden shipping crate disappeared somewhere, so we're doing it the old school way. Old dead tire with a $25,000 engine on it.
All right, come on up, Conley. Okay, do you want us to shorten it up? If we make this bracket a little bit shorter,
right,
we won't have so much hanging out.
Correct.
It'll be a lot more sturdy, a lot stronger.
Yeah, I don't think we've missed the mark on a weirdo project yet. When you got this much room and this much of equipment, you can do just about anything you want.
Yeah. We mostly service the glass industry, but we service all industries in the area, including automotive. So if you have anything custom, a one-off or a large production run, we're always willing to do it. When we finish all the brackets, you want us to match the pulleys, anodized black, everything, make it look real good?
Right, we'll make it all the same color.
Okay.
Make it all nice and pretty.
We can handle that. Richard, we do a lot of thread rolling here. It makes a lot of the threads way stronger. It actually forms the thread, it doesn't cut the thread. Right. So for the bracket and as much torque as that motor's gonna be making, we could thread roll all the bolts. So they'll be stronger than a grade A bolt. So we'll use stainless. We'll probably use like a stainless 330. It's really strong. It handles high heat really good.
Nothing looks prettier than nice hardware.
Guys are always looking for a fun project. This will be a fun one.
All right, JB, so we called Spray Source. This is a whole bunch of colors that they sent us. He's got about 3,500, but wanted to start with these. So up there on the wall, those are original OEM colors. He makes his own, so these are really good colors that we might be able to choose from. So what do you think? Do you have an idea of which way you might want to go?
Well, I'm thinking definitely a red.
Okay.
That's probably a little bit fire engine for me, I would say.
Maybe not so much this one here. It's got some red in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we're not painting a Cadillac.
Okay,
so
that would look good on a Cadillac.
probably leave that one alone.
Well, there are a whole bunch of good ones. Like I said, the thing that I like about these as a painter, that these are all two-stage, and what that means is that a lot of the candies and stuff that are out there, there's three-stage. So if something happens and unfortunately it gets scratched or something, these are real easy to repaint. So that's really good on that.
Therefore, I could leave the car outside.
You could, if you take it to the store, I wouldn't necessarily leave it outside. Somebody might like it better than you.
Yeah.
But as you can see, there are a whole bunch of different colors, a whole bunch of different reds. They got different pearls in them. If you take them out in the light, it will definitely enhance the pearls that are coming out.
I'm thinking red, so I'm thinking probably somewhere. This guy's a little pink.
Little pink, okay. This one's got a little bit, probably too much purple in it. I don't know if you can see that in here, but outside it does. Definitely not this one. We'll just throw that one to the side. So you've got reds here, here, and here. And there's a bright red right there.
I really like these two right here. Man, that one's nice. What's that got in it?
That one's got some gold pearl that looks in there. You really can't see it. We'd have to take it outside to let you look at it. The sun will really enhance the pearls in that, and it almost changes colors. Wow. So, and this is a special color that Thomas over there at that Spray Source made, and it would be a one-off. There's not another one like it.
I mean, if it pops in the sun like you say it does.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, if you want to take it out there and look at it, we can do that.
Okay.
All right, so now that we got it out in the sunlight, you can kind of see how this thing, how it turns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it really does on the curvatures, the way that it turns dark and the way you can see a little bit of the gold pearl in there.
And I like the gold flake too. That's a nice touch. That's really pretty.
It's going to turn out really well.
Brand new muscle car Mustang RestoMod presented by Classic Industries and brought to you by Roadrunner Performance, high performance hoses and fittings. The Spray Source, the #1 source for professional and DIY paint products delivered right to your door. And by Old Air Products, cooling the classics.
I like working on the cars, blocking, priming, painting. It's almost therapeutic to me, relaxing. The problem-solving part can be a challenge sometimes, but it's all a learning experience. I take this very seriously. It's my name that's going on it, so I want to do the best job that I can possible. Honestly, it puts a little bit of pressure on us whenever a customer brings us a vehicle that has a lot of sentimental value to them. Kind of feel honored in the same way because they chose us specifically to work on their car. I obviously do my best work that I can on every vehicle. There are some that I get a little bit more attached to. You're trying to get that same emotions that they felt back whenever they either first drove the car or when they were younger and their family took road trips in it. It feels good when the customer comes back and sees his car painted, all put together, and they're really happy with the work. It makes me feel good knowing that we did our best and the team worked really well together and we put out the best product that we can. This is a 1965 Barracuda. We did a complete restoration on it. This is going to be a race car. I'm not sure of the drivetrain that's going in it. We did a full paint job, roll cage, bedlined the inside, painted it a slate gray, and it's ready to be put back together, have the engine mounted in it, and get it back on the road. I love cars from this era just because you don't see anything like this anymore. Cars aren't made the same. They're not like they used to be. You know, cars back then, they had more attitude to me. Customer wanted to kind of make it look more aggressive with the two-tone hood and the slate gray on it, just to give it a little bit more attitude, more presence. I think he made a great decision.
People are very surprised when we break down the paint process and explain everything has to be done because they're thinking about the guy pulling the trigger, which that's less than a day, it's a few hours, but there's really weeks before that to prep it, prepare it, gap it, make sure it's straight, make sure it's clean, make sure the edges are right, get it in the booth, get it wrapped, get it prepped, then the guy pulls the trigger, then the guy pulls the trigger again on clear, then it goes to the next room for color sand and buff, then you gotta clean it. It's a month-long process.
Okay guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our fenders out of the booth. So what we've done is we've prepped all of our jams. And what I mean by jams is anything not on the outside of the car. So in between the outside of the fender and the motor compartment, the little jam here. So inside your doors, you got your door jams, all that good stuff. We paint the inside of our fenders. We paint the inside of everything. We do that with a hot rod black. Just kind of cleans and coats the metal and protects it from any weathering in the future. So one thing a lot of people don't realize is how much tape it actually takes to tape up a car and how many different times we tape up a car. So anytime we're spraying anything on a car, we're taping off things that we don't want to get oversprayed or taping up certain lines that we want to keep super clean. So I would venture to say that we probably use a couple 100 feet of tape per car. Same thing with the paper. A lot of people don't realize how much paper we go through. We go through a ton of paper. This part right here is kind of cool too, because whenever we get our jams done, that's our first look at what the color is actually going to look like on the car. It's pretty exciting for us painters. This is also a cool time because this is where we get to see our color not only in the booth, but we get to walk outside and check it out outside for the first time. Wow. A little darker than I thought it was gonna be, but man, it really has some good color flops and transitions. Looks really good. All right, let's get this to our body guys. So what Philip's doing now is he's gonna get a couple bolts started, and then what we'll do after we get the bolts started in there, we'll come in here, we'll line up all of our gaps, we'll get our gaps back to where they were down in the body shop, and then we'll start blocking it and getting the outside ready to paint. It's a 1965 Ford Mustang convertible. It's a 289 C-code car. I purchased it as a shell in 2001. I spent about 10 years restoring it and put it on the road in 2011. It was 10 years of also going to ballet recitals and going to soccer games and baseball games. And I drove a 65 coupe in college. So I wound up using the convertible shell and put all my coupe parts on it. So it's a bit of a hybrid. For a 65, it should be a black alternator, fan, and pulley. Mine, I noticed it had blue paint on the back of the fan. There was about a 6-week period where the alternator, fan, and pulley were blue. So this is a blue fan and pulley car. I like to drive this car, I like to use this car. And as you use it, rubber bushings start to harden, plating starts to dull. And so you're always having to take this part off, refinish it, and put it back on. It's a process to get it done, and then it's a process to maintain it. The thing I like about the Mustang is everyone has a Mustang story. I had a car just like this. I drove that car in college. My uncle had this car. We brought our child home in a 66 coupe. I've told people, it's kind of like a Volkswagen. It's a people's car. I get as much appreciation for my car from the late model guys as I do from the vintage guys. Mustang owners are a very tight-knit group. It's not in my best interest to drive it as much as I do because it leads to a lot of maintenance work, but I just really enjoy driving this car. My wife and I, every chance we get, we love to just take it out and do 60 miles an hour on the interstate and get honks and waves from people, and it's a fabulous experience.
Okay, the TV car engine is still at Pyrotech. The custom brackets are off being anodized. Once we get all that stuff back from them, we'll get the TV car engine all assembled, get the head unit back on it, all that. But Jacob, how you doing, man?
Good.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Richard.
Jacob is here from Smetting Performance. But no fear, we still have 2 other engines from you guys. We're putting in 2 other Mustangs that we're building. These are great. I love these. I mean, when I get them from you guys, I put them right in the car. They have EFI of a couple of different flavors, carbureted even. They go in stock footprint, nothing crazy, nothing weird. They make good power, good reliability. Makes my day go a lot easier when I can get this stuff from you guys.
Exactly. Before we get into these, that's really what we specialize in, is making sure that whenever you get the engines, it's no hassle. It's done, they're turnkey. We can option them however you guys need them. If you're putting them into a Bronco, we can get you the right Bronco oil pan. If it's going in a Mustang, we can do the Mustang pan. And you can see we do the full front drive systems with AC and power steering if you have it. Or if y'all are doing a Cobra build, a lot of the Cobra guys just need an alternator. Right. So we're really flexible. And over here we have our 600 horsepower, 8-stack 427 small block Ford based on the 351 Windsor, but it's all 100% brand new. Right. Nothing is reused, it's all aftermarket components, mostly of which we develop in-house for our engine packages.
That's why I like it, because you're not taking parts from one place or another and putting them together, and you can make them work, but it takes extra effort, extra time, extra whatever you don't know. But for something like this, that's why I like it. I mean, we jam it in the car, we plug it up, wire it correctly, start it up, make sure everything's good to go, no leaks, no coolant leaks, no oil leaks, no none of that kind of stuff. Throw it on the dyno and it's ready to go. Especially stuff like this retro look. 8-stacks are crazy popular. I love the single carburetor stuff and single throttle body stuff like that one. There's a wide variety that I can make work in almost everything that we're building right now.
Yep, and both of these have already been broken in for you guys. They're already tuned. The distributors are in the right spot. The EFI systems are loaded with our tunes for these individual motors. So yeah, when you guys are ready to fire it up, I think your life's gonna be easy.
Yeah, it's a big deal. That cuts a lot of time down.
Time's money.
It's a big thing, for sure. Again, thanks for coming down. Thanks for these two amazing crate engines. I can't wait to get them in, fire them up, and make some fun time.
Fantastic.
Brand new muscle car Mustang RestoMod, presented by Classic Industries and brought to you by Ion Classic, the best way to document your restorations. Better Battery Bolt, you are nuts not to try these bolts. And by American Muscle, the aftermarket muscle car experts.
I'm Matt Anderson, Curator of Transportation here at the Henry Ford. People who come into the museum and see Mustang serial number 1, a lot of them will share stories about the Mustang they owned at one point, or maybe the Mustang they do own now, or they will say, you know, that's the car I always did want but never actually got. And there are also people too who are just surprised to think that the serial number 1 car still exists. You know, they would have assumed it would have been sold and perhaps scrapped or lost track of at some point down the line, but no, that car is still here. And Mustang is one of the few American brands that it just kind of exists in and of itself. I think of it alongside Corvette as being another one where the name just has such magic and it has such a following. Mustang, I think, fulfilled this American need, particularly acute in 1964. It was a time of anxiety, national anxiety, no other way to put it. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis in the fall of 1962. President Kennedy had been assassinated in November of 1963, and young baby boomers now are just starting to come of age, and they're of course interested in kind of rebuilding the world in their own image and their own model. We see that happening everywhere, not just with automobiles, but with music. And you know, I always think it's kind of interesting that our Mustang was built either on or very near February 10th, 1964, which would have been the day after the Beatles made their debut on the Ed Sullivan Show, and think of what they meant for the change in the culture, particularly the youth culture in the 1960s. So Mustang was just absolutely the right car at the right moment.
These jack wagons taught me this a long time ago. So on that crown, on every fender, I don't know why, I've always done it, I'll take my block and I'll kind of roll it down like that. And I don't know why, but it works out really well. Yeah, so actually, one of my absolute favorite things to do to a car is to block the primer. Now, I don't love doing body work. I don't love...
You're a weirdo.
I am a weirdo. I don't love spraying. I could never paint a car again the rest of my life and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. This is my jam. This is what I love to do. I can block cars all day long and it doesn't hurt my feelings. Put my headphones in, get in my happy place and just go. And every one of them is like, you're so
I'm the opposite.
Weird.
I want to put headphones in and I want to spray. That's what I want to do.
Spraying.
Just spray all day long.
How about you, Dustin? Donuts and the headphones? I just want to eat donuts and watch these two work, which rarely happens.
So Dustin, it's been so long since you've done that. Do you feel the burn right here?
It was like 2 days ago.
Be right here.
Oh, I think I pulled something.
Hey, how are you guys this morning?
Hey,
yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
What's going on? It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man. Good seeing you. So we are on our second coat of primer, so we're blocking it out. We'll actually be ready for the booth, but we wanted to bring you guys in just to kind of show you the little glimpse of the color that we got so far.
It's a little dusty.
Yeah. But what's crazy is the amount of pearls and stuff in this thing. It flips and flops. If you like this, give us just a second, we'll pull it outside.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, right there. Yeah, check this out. You talk about a candy that's flipping. Holy cow.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spray Source did us right on this one, man. I'm telling you, this color is crazy. And how easy it was to paint was just, it was phenomenal. It's a two-stage candy, so that just means that it's base coat, clear coat. Not like a traditional candy where you got to put a base down, then you got to put the mid coat down, and then you got to put the clear over the top of it. This you can paint it panel to panel instead of spraying from, because normally on candies you have to spray from one end all the way to the other, and you cannot stop. You got to keep an even flow. This one, you don't. That's what I love about it, because you don't have no fear of driving it. A lot of people with these high dollar candy paint jobs, they're scared to death to drive it. So you don't have to worry about that with this, because you can just sand it down and spray it just like any other old base coat that's off of any brand new car.
That's all right. You say you're going to spray the rest of it within 24 hours?
Yeah, it'll be sprayed within 24 hours. We'll have it ready to go in 24 hours.
Well, he's a little gung-ho. 48. 40.
All right.
I want it painted.
So tomorrow morning, tomorrow at noon, show up.
It'll be painted. No fake. No fake.